Hello and welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. This is the iGold Advisor channel, and silver is on the verge of a significant breakout. I want to update you on where we are. We saw quite dramatic price action in gold last week. It is also flirting with a breakout to new all-time highs. But when you see this video, you'll realize why the potential in silver is so much more significant if in fact gold itself breaks out. So that is what is coming today. I want to do also what I did this time last week when we were talking about one of our favorite gold mining companies. This time I want to give you absolutely for free one of the premium research companies that we have done analysis on, and that is Impact Silver. Company's name is Impact Silver. You can see the tickers right here. In the United States, it's ISVLF. And in Canada, the ticker is IPT on the Toronto Venture Exchange. And I'm going to share with you first the silver price breakout, and then we're going to talk about Impact Silver and why I think the opportunity in Impact is so significant right at this point in history. Now, just in case you're wondering, hey, am I being paid to promote Impact? Are they giving me kickbacks or anything like that? Absolutely not. That is not my business model. I do not accept any fees whatsoever, no kickbacks whatsoever. This is not paid promotion for Impact. I have a different business model. My business model, because I saw a lot of those paid promotions going on in previous years when I was first learning about the markets, my business model is different. All I do is I talk about the investments that I am making personally. I share that research with our premium subscribers, and on occasion, I share that research here with you for free. Okay, completely different business model. Let's get into it. Make sure to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified when these free videos come out on YouTube. And hey guys, give me a thumbs up if you like this type of content. I really appreciate it. It just helps out the algorithms on YouTube. Also, make sure to check out our free Twitter feed at iGlobalGold, because certain weeks I don't have a chance to post updates here on YouTube, but I usually put out quicker updates on Twitter, or X as it is now called. Let's get into this silver update. Please make note of our legal disclaimer for one moment. And let's have a look. So remember, back to the last video, we talked about gold being on the verge of a breakout. Let's just update this really quickly. You can see it flirted with that breakout right there a week and a half ago, has come back, but it's now making another attempt. And so technically speaking, we're in this very small shaded window for gold. You can see this right now with support emerging just below 2,000. In my assessment, gold here is within 1 to 2 months from making its sustained breakout. And then we're going to have significantly higher targets for physical gold. We talked about that 1 week ago. Make sure you watch the video on gold in case you missed that. Now, if you're with me on gold, getting ready to make new all-time highs, let's talk about what the real potential is here for gold's little cousin, silver, which tends to act like gold on steroids when it's ready to move, except the challenge is that it's often delayed. So silver often is delayed after gold moves, and then silver itself will move. So what I want to show you here are the last 4 times in 20 years. We're looking at silver 2003 to the present. The last 4 times that we've seen the signal that we are about to see here, I want to show you what happened to silver in each one of those times. So look back here in 2005 when we broke the primary downward trend that silver was in at the time. Notice how silver then surged within the next 3 months by 90%. Okay, the move from 5 up to almost 10, a 90% gain in silver in just these 3 months. Look here in 2010, after the global financial crisis of 2008, the recovery into silver, this same technical signature, primary downtrend break, boom, silver higher by 185% in just 7 months. This is how rapidly silver can move when we see these primary downtrend breaks. Look at the one here in early 2016. After the big decline following the peak, 2016, we had a smaller signal, but still significant. This was a 45% gain in silver in just 4 months. These things tend to be very rapid when they happen. Look back here in 2020, this signal, 60% in just 3 months following the primary downtrend break. So back to the present. Here we are once again. Silver is bumping up against the exact same pattern that it has made on 4 separate occasions over the last 20 years. The level to watch now is $25.20. We are currently trading above 24, so it's less than $1 from breaking out. And if we were to simply take an average of the last 4 times that we've seen this signal, we would be looking at a 95% gain, coming over the course of the next 4 to 6 months in silver, which would put it, functionally speaking, at the $47 level from 25 up to 47. Functionally speaking, that would match the 2011 peak, which got very close to the $50 mark. So you can see the potential here for silver. We are right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this and you're thinking gold is on the verge of new all-time highs, trust me, in that window that gold is making new all-time highs, this is going to be the signal for silver to play catch-up. Okay, let's zoom it in here and take a look at the last 3 years of silver in this red box. We'll zoom it in. And what I'm showing here is silver now on the top for the last 3 years. And you can see that as silver has been no change, zero change for the last 3 years, notice what has happened to the large cap silver mining companies here on the bottom. The companies that dig this very metal out of the ground, these companies have fallen by 55%. Can you believe this? So think about this for a moment. If you're looking at physical silver and you're thinking, well, it's bumping up against 24, and I said when it breaks out, it could go to 47 to 50, which is roughly a doubling. Okay, that's nice, right? But understand what I am here trying to do. I'm trying to present opportunities that are going to change people's lives. I'm talking opportunities where if you make the right investment, you can consider whether or not you want to keep working the same job that you're working. Do you want to move to another city? Do you want to buy a house? If you're not currently owning a house, do you want to buy your first house? Maybe you want to buy a second property as an escape property so you have options if the proverbial shit ever hits the fan, right? Those are the type of opportunities that I'm talking about. And if you think, well, yeah, okay, so silver could double from 24 to close to 50, that's nice. But if you doubled your money, are you really going to be able to change your outlook in life in that kind of way? Now think about this for a moment. Because the large cap silver companies are down 55%, they would need to more than double just to get to their fair value for where silver is right now. So think about that. You could have a doubling in your investment just to get where silver is right now, let alone then if silver doubles again, what is going to happen to these companies? So there things start to get a little bit more interesting. As a side note, why are these companies down so much? Why are they down 55% even though silver is flat? It's because silver mining investors grow impatient. I have seen this over and over and over again in my career. When you have the price of silver move sideways, as we can see here, over the last 3 years, it is quite often the case that mining investors just grow frustrated. And that's a problem for the mining investors if you're short-term oriented. But if you have the opportunity to now participate in the catch-up to fair value, this is where you have the advantage over the previous investors of the last several years. Okay, so 110% just to get back to fair value for where silver is right now. Let's ask ourselves a question here. Has this type of thing ever happened before? Do we have examples of this throughout history where in a sideways silver price market, the silver mining investors have just grown impatient. But this ends up representing a major opportunity when we look at it from the right perspective. So what I want to do is go back to the 1971 to 1980 window. We are looking at silver on the top, and we are looking at Hecla, which is a large cap silver miner, on the bottom. And so notice here from 1971-72, as silver rose to its first peak at $6 per ounce, notice how over the course of the next 4 years, silver moved sideways, completely sideways, from 1974 through 1978. No change whatsoever in silver. Look at this exact same peak here for Hecla, a large silver miner, and notice how over the same period of time, it was down by an astonishing 85%. Can you believe this? Why? I mean, was there a good reason for it? Absolutely not. Silver was flat. The company was still producing silver. It's just that those silver mining investors grew impatient. But look at the opportunity. If you recognize the opportunity back here in late 1978, and then in fact we see silver break out to new highs and have this continuation move higher, look at the opportunity. If you stepped in here and bought Hecla, in the next year and 3 months only, you had a 1,000% catch-up gain. You use this knowledge to your advantage if, in fact, the metal itself is going to break out, and you look for where the value is, which at this point in time was in the silver miner. So that's where we get into those potentials. Think about a 1,000% gain, more than a 10x on your money in a little over a year. So if you had invested $10,000, that would have been over $100,000 of profit in a little bit more than 1 year. That's where you start to get into the opportunities where you say, hey, do I really want to work this job? Hey, maybe I want to pursue one of my passions on the side. Hey, maybe I want to open up my own business or use this as capital for a down payment on a property, right? It's these types of opportunities right here. You have to recognize the opportunities when they are occurring. Let's come back to the present, and this is where I see the opportunity with Impact Silver. This is the company that I am investing in and that our premium subscribers are investing in, and here are the reasons why. So we talked about silver here being on the verge of making this breakout, right? We looked at the previous breakouts. And then look back here at Impact Silver. Notice how this company is trading all the way into a 20-year support zone. 20-year support. Shares are currently trading at 21 cents on the Canadian exchange. That is a 20-year support going all the way back to 2003. Are you kidding me? This is an incredible opportunity. Look at how this company has moved in the previous times that silver has broken these primary downtrends. Let's look at the history here. 2004 through 2005, a 1,900% gain in Impact Silver as silver was breaking out right here in 2005. Let's look at the 2008 to 2011 example. 1,670%. Again, this is life-altering stuff here. If you can be buying in the support zone, this is exactly where the company is trading today. We just looked at the irrational behavior of the silver mining investors back in the 1970s, and I believe we are seeing that same irrational behavior today, and this is why it's an opportunity if you're an investor looking at this now for the first time. Let's look at the previous signals here going back to 2016, a 960% gain. Not shabby, right? And then this gain here in 2020, a 470% gain in this 20-year support zone. So back to the present. Look, here's the signal. We said in the previous analysis just a few moments ago that silver has the potential based on the average of the previous gains from these primary downtrend breaks. This is only the fifth signal that is set up in the last 20 years. The average of the previous gains is a 95% gain. And so then you say, okay, here are the previous surges in Impact Silver. What are we setting up for now? Well, probably somewhere in the middle of these gains, somewhere in the middle of a 1,900, 1,670, and these several hundred percentage points here is what seems reasonable to me if, in fact, silver is going to break out and follow gold. So you start to look at this and you say, okay, well, as opposed to having a 95% gain on my silver, nearly doubling, right? Because that's not the level that's going to really change your life. But what about some of these percentages? That's where I say you have the opportunity to change your life here over the course of the next 12 to 24 months. These are the investments that we are making here. Remember, they are not paying me a single dime to say this. That is not my business model. I do not do paid promotions. What I do is share the research about the investments that I am making myself, that our subscribers are making, and I hope that you will find value in that research, and I hope you'll consider joining us in one way or another. Okay, so these are the potentials for silver and impact silver. Now, let's take a look at some of the fundamentals, because it's not enough to just say, hey, how high could this company go? Let's take a look at some of their fundamentals. Impact Silver is a producing silver company. We're looking at several of their mines here that are already in production. So let's take a look at Impact's fundamentals. First of all, I said they are in production. They have been producing for over 15 years. You can see here their production levels have been fairly stable, especially the last few years. They're leveling out here in this zone above 600,000 ounces of silver per year. I think they can bump this up toward 1 million ounces of silver production per year as the price of silver is rising over the next couple of years. They have produced 11 million ounces of silver since 2006. This is no joke of a company. They know how to produce the metal. Here's the proof for it. This is one of the purest silver producers in the world, by the way. A lot of the quote-unquote silver producers, when you take a look at some of the other names out there, if you're talking about, Wheaton Precious Metals or even First Majestic or let's say Fortuna Silver Mining, a lot of these other silver mining companies only produce about 40 to 50% of their revenue from silver itself. Up through the most recent quarter, silver by impact, their revenues are coming 90% from silver itself. So very highly leveraged toward those silver prices. Here is the proof of their production record. Remember, this is a production company. Let's look at some of their fundamental data points here. This is a Canadian managed company. By the way, I know the management personally. I meet with them at least once per year when I'm in Vancouver. I know the management. I call them on the phone on a regular basis. We discuss their operations. They are based in Canada, and all of their mines are located in Mexico. Some people sometimes think, I'm nervous about investing in Mexico. You shouldn't be. Mexico is the largest silver producer on the face of planet Earth. They produce more silver in Mexico than any other country in the world, and they will continue to do so. They've been mining for silver in Mexico in commercial operations for almost 500 years. They have 5 operating silver mines already going. And this is a big one. They have just made a new acquisition called the Plomosas mine. And this mine is set to come online by full commercial production by mid-2024. So when we're talking 6 months from now, we're going to see a new 6th mine come into place. And this is a big one. It's set to almost double the revenue of the company. Actually, they're anticipating it'll be greater than a doubling of the revenue of all the mines here, inclusive of this new Plomosas mine, just by adding one more to the 5 operating mines. So this is by far going to be their largest mine. And as I said, this is only 6 months from coming online. So they have major fundamental catalysts happening here in the background as well. They have 9 additional exploration sites that are already undergoing exploration for future expansion potential. They are highly leveraged to the silver prices. We saw the proof of that. Those gains above 500%, above 1,000% in the previous silver cycles when silver itself only moved higher by, let's say, 80 or 90%, right? And so the takeaway here, when we look at both the technicals and the fundamentals about Impact Silver, is that we expect silver to now be following gold as gold is prepared to break out to new all-time highs. And this company, Impact, has a proven ability. This is not hypothetical. You look at all the different cycles for Impact, it has a proven ability to play catch-up when silver itself moves higher. So there are the technicals, there are the fundamentals. These are shares that if you have the risk tolerance, I suggest you do your own due diligence or you pay for premium research wherever you're going to access that, and you make a decision, are you ready for those type of gains that are possible? As we know, no gains are guaranteed in anything with respect to the markets, but we looked at the history of Impact and all those gains that have happened in previous cycles, and you look at where Impact is trading right now, there's the setup. Okay, if you're with me so far, I want to tell you about a way that you can achieve gains that are even higher than those several hundred or 1,000 percentage points gains that Impact has witnessed in the past. This is where we get into the style of investing that I favor myself. It is called private placement investing. You have to have the ability to invest at least $7,000 into Impact. And if you can invest $7,000 or more, then you can achieve gains which are far superior to the gains that we already looked at. So take a look here. Here are the fundamentals. We just discussed this from Impact. They're producing over 633,000 ounces of silver per year already. They have the 6 operating mines. They have 2 more on care and maintenance, the 9 exploration sites, right? Now, if you can invest the minimum of $7,000, which is roughly equivalent to 10,000 in Canadian, I want you to understand why this is so powerful. Look here. So the stock is currently trading at 21 cents in the open market. Do you see this? Market price per share. However, I have negotiated with Impact Management for our subscribers to be able to buy the exact same shares at a discount. And we have this locked in now. Locked in the ability to buy shares at 17 cents. Okay? So what this means, when you look at the difference between buying at 17 versus buying at 21 in the open market, it means that if you join us in this private placement, you have a 23.5% profit right off the bat, right to start. How else, what other version of the markets can you say, hey, I want an instant profit, 23.5%, just for stepping up? This is the potential when you invest by private placements, okay? The other thing that you get if you invest with us in this private placement is you get a free half of a warrant for every single share that you're buying, which is good to be exercised at 22 cents. Remember, the stock is already trading at 21, so these warrants are already almost in the money. This is extremely powerful. You have 2 full years to exercise these warrants. Remember, this stock can move higher by 1,000% sometimes in 6 months, let alone 2 years. One thing that's special about this investment that we have negotiated here for Impact is that this deal has no minimum hold period for the shares. Oftentimes, if you're going to invest by a private placement, the minimum hold period is often 4 months. This one is a special type of financing where there is no minimum hold period. So you get the exact same shares in the open market that are trading for 21 cents, but you get them at this 23.5% initial profit, the discount here of buying the shares with us at 17 cents. I want to let you know, if you want to join us in this private placement, the deadline to register with us for our service called Elite Private Placements is this Monday, December 18th. Our offices will be open all day today, Friday. We will be open on Saturday to take your calls and to get you in. There is a very limited amount of this placement left, and for obvious reasons. This is so lucrative, the 23.5% profit off the bat with the half warrants for free. Remember, these warrants are given to you for free. That we are staying open Friday, Saturday. We are closed on Sunday, and we'll be back open on Monday to try to get investors into this placement. It is going to be very tight, though, so make sure to contact us as soon as possible if you would like to participate. Now, I want to just show you, here's the exact same silver chart for Impact Silver shares that we just looked at a moment ago. And what I want to show you is we talked about buying the shares in the open market. We talked about the gains that you would achieve from, remember, this 20-year support zone where Impact is trading right now. This is extremely lucrative in the open market, indeed. But I want to show you the difference if you decide to participate in the private placement with us. I want to show you how the math adds up if, in fact, silver itself is ready to follow gold, and if Impact gets back to any of these former peaks that it got to within the last 20 years. So if Impact is to go from 21 cents, where it's trading right now, back up to this former peak at $1.25, that's going to be a 495% gain for current investors. I mean, no slouch here. Absolutely serious opportunities. Remember, we looked at the discount that happened in the 1970s, just a few moments ago, when Hecla Mining was selling. Remember, Hecla was 85% down compared to where it was trading, even though silver prices were completely flat in the 1970s. And then Hecla moved higher by 1,000% to play catch up because those silver mining investors were selling it irrationally. And so we see the history that these types of gains are possible. Here's the gain, what it would be for Impact to get back to this former peak, 495%. To get back to this former peak here from 2016, 510%, a little bit better even still. But to get back to this peak in 2011 when silver was trading at $50 per ounce, this is unbelievable. 1,400% higher. If I had the risk tolerance and I was looking at this, I would absolutely want to be owning Impact Silver shares here in the open market. But let's take it one step further. If you can invest that minimum of $7,000 US into Impact in one placement, you have the opportunity to simply get back to the exact same level. We're looking at the exact same chart, same time scale, same everything. This gain now goes from a 495% gain to an 870% gain. Why is that? Because you're buying the shares at a discount. Remember, so you're multiplying that discount by all this potential upside, and you're being given the free 2-year half warrant at 22 cents per share. So you add up the gain for the half warrant plus the gain on the shares at a discount, and the total gain gets you nearly double the already impressive gain of the open market. Do you see that? So let's continue. For this gain, 510%, it nearly doubles to 895%. And get ready for this one. If Impact Silver gets back to the $3.10 level that it hit in the year 2011, when silver was trading at twice the price that it is trading today, the gain goes from 1,400% in the open market all the way to 2,420%. That is more than a 20-fold increase. If you were investing $10,000, that would be turned into nearly $250,000. Based on the historical levels, nothing here is pie in the sky, nothing here is fabricated out of thin air, and based on buying the shares at the discount that we have negotiated for our members. You do have to be a member of Elite Private Placements. That is the program here. I do the work behind the scenes for you so that you can get into these investments at more favorable terms. That is the service called Elite Private Placements. Remember, the deadline to register, if you would like to join us, is Monday, December 18th. That's this Monday coming up. Please get in touch with us as soon as possible because this is first come, first serve. And I guarantee you we will sell out of this availability by Monday. If you would like to join us in the open market purchases that we were making, you saw how the impact shares in the open market would still be over 1,000% higher just to get back to the level when silver was trading at $50 per ounce. So absolutely, if I was not ready for private placements, and look, we all start somewhere. It's not a judgment on the individual. When I started myself 15 years ago, I bought all my shares in the open market. That's how I did it. If you would like to learn about not only Impact, but the other companies that we are investing in, we're investing in 10 different companies at any one time. Consider joining our service called Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. So you'll learn about all that. We also cover physical gold, silver, Bitcoin, the stock market, the currency markets. All this goes to you in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. So really the way to think about this, elite private placements is for you if you're ready to invest $7,000 or more US dollars per every investment. And if you're below that level, Precious Metals Intelligence Plus is for you, less than $7,000 per investment. You will get a free subscription, of course, to PMI Plus if you join us in the elite private placements to take advantage of Impact Silver with the free warrants that you will be receiving. If you would like to sit down and discuss your situation, discuss which is appropriate for you, discuss buying physical gold or silver in any way possible, remember, I am a completely independent analyst. I do not take any kickbacks from these companies or from, let's say, any of the bullion dealerships, nothing whatsoever. So I can sit down and discuss with you a logical plan for your investment strategy. It's really, what would I do if I'm in your situation? How would I go about this if I was in your situation? So feel free to book a time slot on the consultations tab on the website. I hope you will think about this very carefully here. We looked at the historical data. We looked at gold about to break out. We looked at how every single time that gold breaks out, silver follows. We looked at the historical gains that silver has itself every time it breaks out, and how the average of the historical gains over the course of the last 20 years is 95% in 4 to 6 months. And so then if you say, okay, if I'm with you with that sequence of events, silver could very reasonably get back into the 40s or approaching $50 per ounce once it breaks out. You look at the potential for these irrationally valued silver mining companies. We looked at how silver investors were also selling them at a discount in the 1970s, and how in the 1970s, once silver itself broke out, the mining companies played catch up. This is the exact same opportunity that is setting up today across many of these silver mining companies. And I personally think that Impact is going to be a special one because it is so highly leveraged to silver. Remember, some of those other silver companies are only getting 30 or 40% of their revenue from silver. One of the reasons why I like Impact is how much silver they have in the ground and their track record of successfully producing for over the last 15 years. Remember the old saying, you only have to be right once to change your life forever. This looks like it could be one of those possibilities. I hope to have you join us. Stay well.